Okay, fourth grade, you are going to be doing this really cool cactus silhouette sunset for our Western art. I actually chose this because we've already been doing our sunset when we did our dolphins, and we've been talking about silhouettes. So I thought this would be a perfect project to do, and it's really pretty. So we're going to actually be using paint and chalks. To complete this. We're going to actually use chalks to do the highlights under the clouds, the little sun, and the background to make it appear lighter, like the sunsets and going in the background. So we're going to be using paints and chalks. This will take us 2 weeks to do. This week we're just going to be doing our sunset background. We're not going to be doing the cactus, the chalks, any of that this week. We're just going to be doing the background. So you will make sure that your paper is hot dog style. And just like we did with our dolphins, you will actually have a paint palette of some yellow, some red, some white, and we're going to do a touch of blue. And we might need some orange in there too. Let me grab my orange. That'll be an easier transition. Okay, I had to grab some orange, so I actually put me some orange in there. I can put it beside the red, that's fine. Alright, so the very first thing we're going to do, just like we did with the sunset, we're going to start out with the white. And we're actually going to go to the very bottom, because we actually want our brightest part to be down here at the bottom. So you're going to come down to about here, because we want the silhouette and the black part will be down here, so we're just going to do the white right in here. Again, it's that same technique. We've already done blending, so this should just be some more practice for you. Our next lightest color, remember I go a little bit above it. Then I start pulling it down into the white, which is going to give me a lighter yellow. And that's what's going to give me that nice little, those values transitioning from darkest to lightest. Perfect. And just depending on how much yellow you want is how high you'll go. Now I'm going to go into the next lightest color, which is the orange. Again, remember you go a little bit above it. Then you start pulling that orange into the yellow. I can't stress this enough. You can only blend wet into wet. So once you start letting that paint dry, you can't blend it. So make sure you don't mess with it too much. You got to hurry up and start pulling it down into the wet paint, and you can pull that down as far as you want it. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and do some red, and I'm going to do a little touch of blue up at the top. Remember, go a little bit above it. Then you start pulling it down into the orange. And this is just depending on how much yellow you want, how much red is how big your little sections are. That'll be up to you. Alright. Now I'm going to pull in some blue. Now because blue and red are next to each other, they're analogous on the color wheel, I can totally do this. I'm going to put this blue up at the top, because if I mix the blue and the red together, I'm just going to get a really pretty purple. You want to make sure you're doing these strokes. Remember, it's a broom. We're sweeping. We're sweeping. Or a ballerina on our tippy toes, but we're sweeping. You want to get comfortable with your brush. We're sweeping. Get those edges. And I'm going to pull that blue down into the red. Now, again, we're actually not going to clean our brush. Just going to do this all with one brush. Now, I've got blue on my brush, so I can actually bring this down. It's going to look like a little bit darker clouds. If you want to create some clouds right now while your paper's wet, you're going to come to the edge of your page, and I'm going to show you a nice little technique just to create some little clouds. You're going to take your brush, and you're just going to kind of scoot it. You want them kind of thicker towards the end, and then they kind of get thinner as you move in. And you're just going to take your brush, and you're just going to scoot it. You can even bring them down into this lighter color. Do you see how I'm just kind of scooting it? You want to make sure they're thinner towards the inside though. They kind of get thin. So we want like these little random, you can even bring that color on in to your lighter color. That's okay. And you want a few of these clouds. I don't think I'm going to pull it down into my yellow though. I think I'm going to keep these clouds up here. And I'm just doing this little scoot. Look at this. This is perfect. My brush still has all those colors on it. And it's going to look so pretty when we add that yellow highlight chalk at the bottom of the clouds. And you want a few little clouds just like that in your picture. Just until your brush, I guess your brush kind of dries out. All right, now the next thing we're going to do is we have to create just this little silhouette of grass that the cactus is going to sit in. It's perfectly fine. I don't need to clean my brush. Now I'm going to go into my very darkest color, my black. And you can create whatever type of background scenery you want. You can do it like this. You can have it sitting on whatever shape background you want. Now I'm going to leave that white because I'm actually going to bring in some chalk right above that black. So that's okay if I leave that white. That's actually I'm going to actually put another little landscape in the back using chalk. I just want to make sure I get the bottom all the way filled in with black. Again, you could do a hill. You could put your little cactus on whatever little, again, this is a silhouette, so we're not going to see any green, any colors in this. We're just going to see the black ground. Okay, and this is all we're doing today. You will actually come put these on the drying rack and get a wipe, clean your mat, clean your hands, put your brush in the sink. Next week, we will add the chalk. We will do the highlights up under the clouds, the cactus, the sun, and the little background where the sun is actually reflecting on the background. It's actually going to have highlights back there. So we'll actually see some colors back there, but not up here. All right, have fun.